ISPS code. This chapter explains the International Ship and Port Facility Security Code, ISPS code, as a practical journey from initial preparation to certification and long-term maintenance. The author stresses that there is no single correct method for applying the ISPS code. Each company must comply with all mandatory requirements while adapting the system to its own working practices. The chapter also notes that the IMO's 2012 Guide to Maritime Security and the ISPS code brought together many security-related materials, making maritime security a broader and more complex responsibility for companies, ships, ports, and governments. The ISPS code became mandatory through SOLAS Chapter 2. It applies mainly to passenger ships, high-speed craft, cargo ships of 500 GT and above, mobile offshore drilling units, and port facilities serving such ships on international voyages. The code is divided into Part A, which contains mandatory requirements, and Part B, which provides guidance. Although Part B is formally guidance, the chapter emphasizes that it is practically difficult to comply with Part A without considering Part B. A major feature of the ISPS code is the creation of 3 important security roles: Company Security Officer, CSO, Ship Security Officer, SSO, and Port Facility Security Officer, PFSO. These personnel must be properly trained, certified, and familiar with the legal and operational implications of the code. The chapter also underlines that ship managers must understand how ISPS interacts with the company's safety management system, SMS, under the ISM code, because security cannot operate separately from the company's wider management system. The chapter treats safety and security as equally important. A safe ship that is not secure remains exposed to external threats, while a secure ship that is not safe is still at risk. Therefore, the ISPS code should be integrated with the ISMM SMS system. For example, security equipment must be inspected, maintained, tested, calibrated, and certified. If the SSO manages this separately from the planned maintenance system, important tasks may be missed. Integrating security records and maintenance into normal ship management reduces the risk of non-compliance. The relationship between the CSO and the ship manager is presented as essential. In some companies, the ship manager may also act as CSO. In others, CSO is a separate role. The chapter recommends that at least one deputy CSO should be trained and ready to take over when necessary. Good communication between the CSO, ship manager, master, and shipboard personnel is especially important when vessels operate in high-risk areas such as piracy-prone waters. Poor or fragmented communication from the office can create serious operational and security problems. Certification under the ISPS code is based on audits and verification. Ships receive an International Ship Security Certificate, ISSC, while port facilities receive a Statement of Compliance of a port facility. Audits may be carried out by flag administrations or by a delegated, recognized security organization, RSO, often a classification society. The office itself is not certified in the same way as the ship, but the company must still maintain records, training, procedures, and support systems so that ships can remain compliant. A large part of the chapter explains how a company may implement the ISPS code. The suggested process includes forming an implementation team, appointing the CSO and deputy CSO, training CSOs and SSOs, identifying flag administrations and recognized organizations, selecting whether to build an internal system or use consultants, conducting a ship security assessment, SSA, for each ship, preparing the ship security plan, SSP, obtaining approval, implementing the plan on board, keeping records, arranging audits, obtaining the ISSC, and then moving into continuous maintenance and improvement. The author emphasizes that implementation is not a one-time task, but an ongoing cycle. The ship security assessment identifies each ship's strengths, weaknesses, and required security measures. Because ships differ in type, size, age, equipment, and trade pattern, each ship requires its own assessment. The SSA may identify equipment such as AIS, SSAS, locks, lighting, radios, GMDSS, CCTV, intrusion alarms, metal detectors, explosive detectors, baggage screening equipment, container X-ray devices, and general alarms. Both CSO and SSO must understand the capability, limitations, operational range, environmental sensitivity, and possible operator errors of this equipment. The Ship Security Plan is the core document of the ship's ISPS system. It must address areas such as ship security duties, access control, cargo handling, delivery of stores, unaccompanied baggage, monitoring of ship security, different security levels, declarations of security, audits, and review. Once approved by the Flag Administration or delegated RSO, the SSP cannot be changed freely. Any amendment must be formally proposed, reviewed by the CSO, approved by the Flag Administration or RSO, sent to the ship, inserted into the SSP, and confirmed back to the CSO. After certification, the ship must live with the ISPS code every day. The ship always operates at a security level. Security Level 1 requires minimum protective measures at all times. Level 2 requires additional measures because of heightened risk. Level 3 requires further measures for a limited time when a security incident is probable or imminent. The security level is set by contracting governments and may apply to ships and port facilities. A ship may operate at a higher security level than the port facility, but never lower. The Declaration of Security is used to coordinate security responsibilities between ship and port facility. It may be requested by the ship or the port facility and may be completed by the master, SSO, PFSO, or another authorized body depending on government arrangements. The appendix example shows that the declaration records the ship, port facility, applicable security levels, activities, and which party is responsible for duties such as access control, monitoring restricted areas, cargo handling, stores delivery, baggage handling, embarkation control, and security communications. Training, drills, and exercises are another continuing requirement. The company must decide which drills and exercises are relevant to its ships and how they should be carried out. The SSO is responsible for keeping records of every drill and exercise. Audits may be initial, intermediate, additional, or renewal audits. The CSO arranges audits with the RSO, and the SSO ensures that crew members are trained, aware of their duties, and able to produce the required records. Any deficiencies or nonconformities must be corrected within the required timeframe, with objective evidence of corrective action. The Ship Security Alert System, SSAS, is covered under SOLAS Quen 2 Regulation 6. It must have at least 2 activation points, one of which must be on the bridge, and these points must be protected against accidental activation. When activated, the SSAS sends a ship-to-shore security alert, identifying the ship, its location, and the fact that its security is threatened or compromised. It does not alert other ships, does not sound an alarm on board, and continues transmitting until reset or deactivated. The chapter also stresses the confidential nature of the SSP. Because the plan contains sensitive information, access should be strictly limited, normally to the master, SSO, and CSO as a minimum. The company should provide the master with a clear list of who may inspect or access the SSP. Anyone not on the approved list should be referred to the CSO. In the final section, the author links the ISPS code to modern threats such as terrorism, piracy, stowaways, theft, and unauthorized access to ships. The chapter argues that shipping must avoid becoming a soft target, especially as modern passenger ships, container ships, LNG carriers, and offshore units can create large-scale consequences if attacked. It also notes the growing use of armed security guards and mentions ISO 28007 as a standard for controlling and certifying such organizations. The central message is that security is everyone's responsibility and that prevention is better than cure. Overall, the chapter presents the ISPS code not merely as a certificate to be obtained, but as a continuous security management system. It requires trained people, approved plans, controlled documents, regular drills, audits, records, communication between ship and shore, and constant awareness. The code must not become a background administrative exercise. If treated seriously, it helps protect ships, crews, companies, ports, and the wider maritime industry.